I enjoyed myself last night. So while we're hiking, because we're hiking together as a family right now, let me give you a story time. So last night when I was out, I met a whole bunch of people, and it was great. It was awesome, which is one of the reasons why I love solo tripping, because we're going on solo trips to meet people, and you could be completely engaged in conversation because you don't have the distractions of, hanging out with someone else. And one of the cool things was that at this winery, and the artist's name, her name was Patrice. I didn't get a chance to find her handles or anything like that, and she was still performing even though they were closing down as I was leaving, but I just knew it was my time to go. Plus, I need to eat. And I didn't want to eat there when I have food that I literally purchase, at the store for me to make and eat. And so I went home and opted to do that instead. So that was why I didn't stay for the long haul. But actually, check this out. This is what I came up on. Which, this looks way more difficult than it is. It actually isn't too bad. But also, I definitely have... This is actually why I have more confidence right now. Because if I just had running shoes on, I would not be 100% confident in walking in this. But I have my trail shoes, which have like a grip. So even if the rocks are are loose, I'm okay. It's still gripping the ground pretty well. Anyway, back to the story time though. So I'm there and I met Miss Las Vegas, like the beauty pageant. I met Miss Las Vegas, like she was there. And I'm just like, wait. Because for one, she had her crown on, so I knew she was somebody. And so Miss Las Vegas was there. Also, I met other people from Chicago. And then, get this. The husband of the owner, because he's not the owner, and there's a whole entire reason behind that, and it's not my business to tell. You'll have to come and he'll tell you himself, because I want you to come and support that business. He's from Fort Wayne. He lived in Fort Wayne for a while, and I didn't even tell him yet that that's where I was originally from. Didn't even tell him. And I was like, it's a small world after all. I wasn't as surprised about the Chicago thing, because a lot of ex-Chicagoans come here. A lot of ex-Chicagoans just come out west, period. So I wasn't that surprised. But the Fort Wayne of it all, I was like, oh, cool, that's awesome. That's like literally the second or third time that I met someone that's like from Fort Wayne randomly traveling. And also, another one of the people I was talking to, both her sons used to live in Chicago, and one of her sons actually helped build a franchise all throughout Chicagoland, like in Naperville and Vernon Hills. So I was like, are you serious? What a random thing. So besides that, there was a couple of musicians who were there. Quite a few people that were in a play together. So basically, this was like the mind of all the creatives. And I did not plan for that. That was like the happiest accident ever, because as those who really know me, I've been wanting to like kind of have that again. Because I used to hang out with a lot of creative people pre-pandemic. Because as you know, or may be figuring out, I'm a pretty creative person myself. And a lot of the people who were there were either actors, actresses, and quite a few musicians that's been on tours. One of the guys came up and started singing. He's going to be doing a master class soon on his tour life, because he toured for like the Commodores for a little bit. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? This is like awesome, like the best thing ever. And I'm definitely want to come back or even go to the places where they normally frequent at, because a lot of these people end up start singing because they just came up and start singing. But mind you, I will want to make sure that my vocal instrument has been exercised. She's out of practice. I definitely have been mentioning how I need to get her back in the rep of things. But child, we did have a little bit of a kiki because there was a little bit of shade. A little bit of laughter, a little bit of shade, which was why I was like, oh, this is a great time. There's this lady who's in the play, bless her soul. She came out and sang a song, and she was singing, but she wasn't singing. And everyone else that was on that stage was singing. And it was like, man, and no shade, she was very breathy of a singer. Very breathy. But like, not where vibes were kind of taking over. Because a lot of singers today, that's the kind of time they're on, especially the new R&B. It's breathy singing. But like, they also have vibes and swag that come with it. And it's like she was just in her own way. She didn't have the swag to come with the breathiness, so it was just that. It was like, I would say like a demo tape version of like a Jhené Aiko. If this was like Jhené Aiko's first outing and she was demo. And like, hasn't had the training and all that to have the whole entire swag she has now. So I was trying to not laugh. I felt so bad. I really did. And I was sitting next to two people. And one of the people who I was sitting next to, the one who has like her sons, or one of them is in Chicago and the other one helped build a franchise in Chicago. Before he moved and started building franchise in the Atlanta area. She is giving the shadiest look ever and trying to hold it together. And why, mind you, this lady, she's gorgeous. The lady who's doing this, she looks like Giselle Bryant from like Real Housewives. That's the vibe she's giving me. So she's trying so hard not to say anything, but her look on her face is saying it all. But she's like saying what I'm already thinking too. And also too, I know I have the same problem where if I feel something, my face will show it all. So when she's doing this, it was just like in tandem. We're both just looking at each other like, oh no, this ain't it. And then I looked away because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to start laughing. So I need to like, and it was more or less, I felt bad for the girl, but I was laughing at her. The lady's reaction to the girl, not really the girl, because I was trying to be very respectful because I knew it took balls for her to just go up there and just start singing. That's a lot. It's hard, especially unexpected. And you've been drinking like alcohol. I wouldn't have done it. Not me. I'll be honest. I would have to be prepared for that, or my vocals would have to be exercised for that, I wouldn't have done it without that, though. I could maybe do it with a rock songs that, doesn't require, as much vocal ability when it comes to, like, pitch and whatnot. It still requires a lot. I'm not trying to shade that because, I love rock. I love that genre, too. Like, I won many karaoke contests doing rock songs. But it's also because I have vocal training to be able to do different genres. And this is when I was still exercising her which I haven't been. And also, I guess the other thing before I go back to like the reactions, the lady who was up there singing, and I don't know if it was nervousness, but another thing about when you sing breathy that tells me everything I need to know. You're singing from your throat. You're not singing from your diaphragm, which if you want to be a singer, you're not going to have a long career doing that. You're going to destroy your throat. And so even when I sound rough, I don't sing from my throat. I sing from my diaphragm. Even when I do rock songs, all the belting and stuff is coming from the diaphragm. It's a lot of breath control. So being breathy is it's actually not even good for her to be that way. But anyway, so back to the lady. I'm going to call her Giselle because she looks like Giselle Bryant. Giselle's giving me this look. And I'm just like, oh my God, I can't look at her. I can't. So I look the other way, and the other way is the 20-something-year-old. She's from Philly. I'll call her Jill, because Jill from Philly, we'll call her Jill. We'll call her Jill. I don't know any of these people's names. And so, and also I don't want to out people. So Jill, I look at Jill, and she sees a look on my face, and she's like, "You are shady." I'm just like, I'm not being... She's like, "Nah, girl, shady." And I'm just like, "But I'm not trying to be." And then she's just like, "Girl, I'm from the East Coast. This ain't it, isn't it?" I'm like, "Nah, girl, no, that ain't it." And she's just like, "Oh my gosh, shady." And then she's like, she was trying to egg it on to make me be more shady. And I was like, no. I did say a couple other things under my breath because, I can read. And those who know what reading is, I can read. And so I'm trying not to read. I'm trying not to read this lady down because she don't deserve it. This isn't fair. Like, especially knowing that she didn't even know she was coming up there and they brought her up there. That really isn't fair. So after I did throw a little bit of shade, I did try to soften the blow and say, like, look, that wasn't fair. She should, like, what do you do when you get invited to come up to the stage and sing in front of everybody? You can't really say no. But, yeah, so that's the results that we got. So I felt really bad for her. Anyway, I am at the beginning of the trail again, so that concludes both the hike and the story time. One more thing I forgot to add about last night. One thing that just made it just awesome was I got a couple people are now following me on my Instagram for this channel. So if anything, I got some networking done, which is one of the things I love to do. I love networking. And hopefully with that, I can help grow this channel more. And the other thing that was awesome that wasn't really business related, and I don't know why my brain just does that. Like I can make a relationship into a business relationship so quickly. It's like unreal. But anyway, the other thing that was awesome about last night was I got to go dancing. We danced a little bit. Like they play the wobble, 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 baby, wobble, baby, wobble. Yeah, like they play that song. They played the cha-cha slide. There's another one they did. They did one that was easier, and I can't think of what it is. Not the electric slide. It wasn't. Cupid Shuffle. There we go. They did the Cupid Shuffle. That was the other one. I was like, wait a minute. It was the easier one. It was that one. One thing that I just realized though, because I haven't went dancing in so long. I mean, it's been years. Last time I used to go dancing, used to be with a homegirl in the D-town, aka Detroit. We used to go all throughout the Detroit streets and go out dancing. But I don't really go dancing in Chicago because there's so many other vibey places to go to that you don't have to really go out dancing. There's just so many things in Chicago. It makes it where dancing's like one of the last things. And plus, again, I've kind of switched over to being more of a morning person, so it makes it hard to go out dancing. And also, too, to be honest with you, a lot of the people who I hang out with, they're not dancers, or if they are, they don't know about that. They don't know about that era where nothing but dance songs were a thing, and that's all you did. Like, I feel like today's age of like going out, this is all about vibes. So hanging out with people who were my age group or older last night, they knew we were all on the same kind of time. Let's kiki, shade, a little bit of shade throwing, but friendly shade. Let's not be mean. Enjoying ourselves, having some drinks, but not getting stupid drunk or messed up. None of that. And then also dancing. Move. You got to move a little bit, you know? You got to sweat some of that off. You can't keep that on you. That's probably one of the main reasons why I woke up this morning just fine. And also, too, I wasn't going to drink to excess anyway because I was driving. So there's a lot going on there. But anyway, I just had to add that little extra sauce to it. I miss that era of going out and being able to dance. But like the era, the early 2000s, all the songs were dance songs era, that. But then also the songs that she was singing were songs from like the 80s and 90s and even 70s and even 60s. And she even did her spin on the Carpenters, which I was like, wait, what? It was just like a vibe. She did some country, a little bit of country, but made it R&B. It was just, last night was chef's kiss. And I'm hoping to have more nights like that. Just in the future, not even necessarily here, just in the future period, where I get some business done, have some fun, I kiki a little bit, and then I go home at a decent time and go to bed at a decent time and wake up at a decent time. All that was like everything. Anyway, bye now. Bye.